Good afternoon, doctor and everyone. My group members and I will give a brief introduction of Piaget's theory of cognitive development, his 4 stages, the relevance of Piaget's theory on education, the testing of this Piaget's theory, as well as some critics that we put on Piaget's theory. Piaget's theory of cognitive development. Jean Piaget is a Swiss developmental psychologist and was an employee at Bernard Institute in the 1920s. His job was to develop French versions of questions on English intelligence tests. Piaget came up with reasons why children gave wrong answers to some questions that require logical thinking. And the reasons was because children's reasoning or thinking differ from the adult ones, and also the children, they see the world in different ways. This means that children's intelligence differs from adults one in terms of quality rather than quantity. Piaget used the best way to understand children's reasoning, which was to see the things from their point of view. He therefore studied children from infants to adolescence using the naturalistic observation of his 3 own babies and sometimes controlled observation. He also used clinical interviews and observations of all the children who were able to understand questions and also hold conversations. According to Piaget, children are born with a very basic mental structure called schema, which is genetically inherited and evolved. Schemas enable us to form a mental representation of the world. Piaget's theory suggests that intelligence changes as children grow, and cognitive development is determined by biological maturation, interaction with environment. Therefore, children pass through a series of stages. The sequence of the stages is universal across cultures and follow the same unchanging order. Very important. Piaget made it clear that although no stage can be missed out, there are individual differences in the rate at which children progress through stages, and some individuals may never attain the later stages. In addition to that, Piaget did not claim that a particular stage was reached at a certain age, although descriptions of the stages often include an indication of the age at which an average child would reach each stage. 4 stages of Piaget's theory. The first stage is called the sensorimotor stage, which age from birth to 2 years. During this stage, the infant lives in the present. It does not have the mental picture of the world's thoughts in its memory. Therefore, it does not have a sense of object permanence. For example, if a child can't see something, it means that it does not exist. Also, during this stage, the child develops 5 senses, which are sight, smell, taste, touch, and also hearing.
We have Giovanni, 9 months. Now we want to find out whether he will pick the side where the sweet was. Teacher Kauri will first show the sweet to the boy. Here they can see the sweet. Now we want to check whether Giovanni will be able to pick which cup is having the sweets. Let's see what we'll get. Let's see. Kauri, just put the cups and see whether Giovanni will take the side where the sweet is. Okay, we are checking.
The second stage of Piaget's theory is called the pre-operational stage, which starts from age 2 to 7. At this stage, children have made some progress towards detaching their thoughts from physical world. However, they have not yet developed logical or operational thoughts. During this stage, the children's thinking is egocentric and is dominated by how the world looks, but not how the world is. The third stage of Piaget's theory is called concrete operational stage, which starts from age 7 to 11 years. During this stage, children start to think logically much more successfully. And also, the children here, they become less egocentric and they begin to think about how other people might think or feel.
You are fine, eh? You see this sweet? This is one line. This is one line. Let's check how many sweets are this one?
1, 2, 3, 4.
So this line has 4 sweets, ne? Let's see this one.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Which line now is having more sweet? Are they the same? They are the same, ne? Tell me, which line now is having more sweets? That one, eh? Why are you saying that?
This line is big.
This line is big. Thank you, ne?
How old are you, Seti?
8.
Okay, thank you.
The final stage of Piaget's theory is called formal operational stage, which starts from age 12 and above. During this stage, adolescents can deal with hypothetical problems with many possible solutions.
Good. Okay, we are going to do a test together, ne? We are having these 2 cups. Did you see these 2 cups?
Yes.
Are they equal?
Yeah.
Alright. How old are you?
16.
16. We are going to pour juice into these 2 glasses. And then you must tell me something. Tell me which cup has a lot of juice.
They are both equal.
They are both equal, right? Okay. Now we are going to pour 1 cup in this one. Between these 2, which one has more juice?
They are still equal, just because this one is in the big cup.
Good. Thank you for participating.
Relevance of Piaget's theory of cognitive development. This theory was based on 4 stages, which was the sensory motor, the operational stage, the pre-operational stage, the concrete operational stage, and the formal operational stage, which sums it to 4. The theory was mostly based on how a human reaches their full intelligence. Hence, in all the stages that I mentioned, the children were able to demonstrate new skills or new abilities that they've gained from all the 4 stages. Also, this also proves that children are not just a passive recipient of information, but they can process this information through the 3 concepts, which was assimilation, association, and equilibrium. Although the stages or the age in how the child progress may differ, it's mostly based on environmental factors or with the environment where they grow in and their background. Those are the things that can influence the age in how the child actually progresses. But the theory proves that these stages cannot be skipped. So if the child cannot advance to sensomotory skills or gaining those skills, they cannot advance to the pre-operational stage, to stage 2. So this basically proves that the child cannot, even though the progress is delayed by the environment in the environment where they are in, the stage can still not be skipped. This theory actually basically helped us to understand the way in which we think today. Hence, this helped us as educators to actually shape our curriculum and activities based on experienced learning. One of the schools in Britain, a lower primary school, basically changed their whole curriculum based on this theory, where they used more experimental learning for lower primary kids. One example was they were being taught about different soil types, and they got to experience the texture of the soil type to actually understand through the process that we're saying, that we are teaching them through experiencing that specific topic so that they can learn.
Critiques of Piaget's theory of cognitive development. The approach rarely report anything how Piaget selected his participants and how many children he examined to arrive at his conclusion, or even the statistics of the children's age in years or months who gave answers to his queries. Another critique is the environment of study. Piaget did his study in Geneva, in Western countries, where children attend school and are trained in different forms of thinking, which means it's very difficult to use this study in other areas of the world. Another problem was with definition of terms operationally. Piaget used terms like accommodation and assimilation, and this term could not indicate how the child has changed in various areas of development. So this makes replication difficult for others to interpret the significance of this generalization.